record or not?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. DeGette.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And I want to add my thanks, Mr. Mendel, for you coming today and giving the best and most honest answers that you could. I know it's not an easy task, but as the Consumer Protection Subcommittee develops our legislation around meat safety, having this testimony from someone whose plant really had a terrible problem really helps us develop this legislation. Mr. Burgess asked you if you would have taken quicker action if the Humane Society would have given you the videotape at the time they gave it to the prosecutors, correct? And you said yes, you would have taken quicker action.
Yes, I probably would have.
And then Ms. Schakowsky asked you about the whole sequence of events with the USDA. And you stressed to Ms. Schakowsky that in your company's opinion, there was really no danger to this meat, correct?
To the best of my knowledge, I thought there wasn't, no.
Right. And so here's my question. What would you have done? You didn't recall the beef until the USDA told you to recall the beef, right?
Correct.
And that was about 10 days, according to your testimony, after you learned about the Humane Society videotape, right?
Correct.
So my question is, if you would have learned about it right away, what is it that you would have done differently? Install the cameras?
Yes, I would have.
Would you have done anything else? Would you have recalled the meat? No, because you didn't recall the meat till 10 days after you learned about the video.
The first video The first video that we received, it was inhumane treatment of animals. That's what I was acting on.
So what would you? So you would have tried to have more humane treatment of the animals, but you wouldn't have done anything about the downed cattle.
I didn't know about the downed cows till later.
When did you know about the downed?
That's the tapes that the Humane Society held, the ones with
right.
the downed cows.
But you didn't. So when you received those tapes, you weren't told till 10 days later by the USDA to recall the beef, right?
You didn't see the down.
Because in the Humane
I have never seen the down cows going in the knocking box tapes until today.
Okay, so
I acted on animal welfare.
So your view was that seeing those downed cows on the videotapes that you received from the Humane Society, the only concern you had was the humane treatment concern, right?
That was my concern, ma'am.
And so really, you would have never recalled this beef until you were told to by the USDA, right?
If I hadn't have seen those videos, there would have been no reason for it.
But you did see the videos, and you still didn't think it was anything bigger than it. And there were down cows in those videos, but you didn't think it was a problem because you didn't see on the videos that they went into the processing stream.
I reacted to the inhumane treatment of animals.
Okay, you can answer my question. You thought it was an issue of humane treatment, but you didn't think there was any kind of food risk because on the tapes you didn't see those going into the processing stream.
That's correct.
Thank you. So, Mr. Chairman, I guess what my conclusion from this line of testimony is that we really need to most consumers in this country think that we have mandatory recall. The FDA does not have mandatory recall authority, and the USDA recall authority is very long and involved. It is not an immediate mandatory recall authority. And this is what Congresswoman DeLauro and I have been working in our bill, because what you get is you get people who, even if they see the visual evidence that there are down cows, if they don't see the actual evidence that it goes into the food stream, then they've got a business incentive not to voluntarily recall that meat. And so I think two things. Number one, if you had mandatory recall authority by the USDA and the FDA, it would put more of an incentive on business owners to make that next leap, to say, if I see the down cows there marching towards the processing, I'm going to assume that those down cows may go into the food stream, and I'm going to take voluntary action. And the second thing is, it would give the USDA an ability to actually take mandatory recall authority when the health of our citizens is at risk. And I yield back.
Thank you. Mandatory recalls in the